Hello my friends, this is Linol Anderson here with you guys with a brand new YouTube BitChute video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Nibiru and the possibility of an ice age coming, a mini ice age. There's actually a lot of things that are pointing towards a mini ice age coming in the near future, and I believe that it's directly linked to the arrival of the Nibiru Event, which of course is the Matrix resetting itself, rebooting itself, because we are within a simulation, my friends, and it gets reset, rebooted on a regular basis. That's right, reality's not what it seems. So today I'm going to show you a lot of facts that is pointing towards that is what exactly is happening. Okay, my friends? So let's get right into it. Just going to encourage you guys, if you enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button. As I say, subscribe to survive. And also hit the like button. Helps me out with the algorithms. Now let's just get right into it, shall we? So I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer. You know, a lot of people are going to see this and think, oh, you're pushing fear, Lionel. Why are you pushing fear, this and that? And I just want to make it very clear, okay? I don't want anybody to fall into fear when they hear the information I'm about to present to you guys. Because you got to realize within this simulation that we're within, there's different timelines playing out. So if you're in a vibration of fear, if you are enslaved mentally and, accepting all the stuff that the powers that be give you and connecting yourself to AI, and you're not raising your vibration in love, you're going to stay on this 3D timeline where unfortunately you're going to experience the events we're going to talk about in this video. But want to make it clear, there's another timeline. I like to call it the 5D timeline. And if you do not fall into the fear, you raise your vibration, you're going to experience a much better reality, and you're going to be spared from a lot of these events that are going to take place. So don't lose all hope thinking, oh, that's it, I'm going to pass on and it's going to be horrible. Try and stay positive here, my friends, because that can make all the difference. So just wanted to throw that out there to not fall in fear for what I'm about to tell you. So as I was saying, I do believe we are in fact within a matrix simulation that has these resets that happen quite often, and it's due to events such as the Phoenix event and the Nibiru event, which are pretty much weapons within this matrix that reset the simulation on a regular basis, okay? And all in the meanwhile, we're being harvested of our low vibration energy by bad entities, okay, my friends? And what it comes down to is a lot of people are wondering what's going on with the world. You know, there's this mass depopulation agenda unfolding on humanity right now, right? Everything we've seen in the past few years, and from the elites, trying to stop the food supply, attacking the farmers. That's why the farmers are rising up all over Europe. Like, what are they doing? Well, it's clear they know something is coming, because a lot of these elites, not all, but a lot of them do know what's going on in this realm, and they know what's coming. So I want to play you guys a quick clip of Elon Musk. I believe this is Elon Musk anyways. He's been going by the name of Adrian Dittman on X. It appears that it's an alternate account, and that some people say it's a clone or it's AI. Some people think it is Elon. I think it's both. I think it's both Elon and an AI, and they switch at different times. But this Adrian Dittman denies that he's Elon. It's clearly a big psychological operation, if you ask me. But you'll see he went on the Mr. Jones show, Mr. AJ, and they were talking about what's going on in the world, and he had this to say, okay? So take a look.
Why would an establishment want to defund the police and allow all this open drug use and destroy society. Do you think that's on purpose, or is that by accident? And why is it happening to the West?
There's something that none of us understand. I think that it doesn't make any sense. Dominating people still requires people to dominate. So why are people killing people? I just don't, it doesn't make any sense to me. There has to be some sort of other deeper logic, because if you are doing something this fanatical, there's a reason, and there's probably a very good reason too. Now, I'm not saying that, what is happening is good at all, but what I'm saying is there has to be some sort of reason so convincing, so logical, and so it has to have such a massive impact in the mind that it justifies these extreme actions. And I want to know what the reasoning is.
Interesting, eh, my friends? I think this is their way of telling us, if this is truly Elon, I think this is their way of telling us that something big is coming. Because as you could see, he's saying whatever the reasons are for the powers that be doing what they're doing, they must have a good reason to do it. It must be a good reason. I want to know. Well, if it's Elon Musk, I'm telling you right now, he knows exactly what's coming. But for me, that was just their way of letting us know that there's a good reason why the powers that be are eliminating people off the face of the earth. Okay? Well, I think I know the reason. I think I've figured it out, my friends. Like I said, I'm a firm believer that this Nibiru, it's here. It's affecting our earth already. And it is changing the weather here, The weather is changing, believe it or not. But it doesn't have anything to do with us. It more so has to do with this coming Nibiru event and also the sun. Because, of course, this Nibiru not an actual planet coming in. It's like an interdimensional object. It's like a technology of the Matrix to reset the Matrix and bring in the new simulation. Okay, we're not in base reality. But whatever this is affects our sun. The sun is involved. And you see, right now we are in a solar maximum, which means there's a lot of sun activity. So that's why we might see, the summer's warming up. It looks like we're going to be going into something called a solar minimum, apparently in the 2030s. That's when the sun activity slows down. Now, I came across this article just the other day, and I want to show you what I found. Take a look. All right, my friends, so if you saw there, according to this article, this solar minimum that is coming, the sun activity is going to be reduced by 60%. And the last time we've seen sun activity this low was when we had the last mini ice age on Earth. And I believe that was 1645, okay? And pretty much what a mini ice age is it's a cooling of the planet, okay? Like I said, I believe the weather is all directly linked to the sun. And it took the lives of millions of people because people were passing from starvation, right? Now, even that Stephen Hawking, the guy in the chair there, I believe he was Epstein's buddy, came out, he went to the island and all that. He predicted before he died that there would be an ice age coming in the 2030s. Take a look. There you have it. And I actually had a couple videos I'd like to show you guys that speak about this further, about what's coming. So the first one is this dude named David Dubine. He's got some great information. And then we got Greg Braden talking about how the Earth is going to start cooling. Take a look.
So what does that really mean for us? Well, it's going to peak early and then it's going to slide down. And these temperatures and effects on our planet's atmosphere are going to be pronounced, especially when the magnetic field changes so quickly and rapidly. So on the left, this is a great representation here. On the left is where we sort of sit right now at solar maximum. There's a lot of, magnetic activity interlooping. There's a huge amount of sunspots and, solar flares coming off, and Hyder flares, where that's a rope that bounces off and shoots off the plasma sheet there. And then we have on the right the cool, the calm in a solar minimum. Now what we sit and where we're going to on the right, this is a regular 11-year solar cycle image here of activity and quiet. But we're going to be going into a 400-year period of quiet, where that on the right there is going to get much dimmer. And the magnetic field will, in turn, be reflected on our planet, where the magnetic field won't be so strong, so it's not going to lock in jet streams and cloud cells. Hence the food production, the plant and the harvest date is going to be out of whack. This is the whole thing that scares the powers that be, that really don't want to terrify people, they're going to be the rule of law would break down long before any of this occurs. You still have another year and a half before the biggest events of this will really be known. At that point, I'm not sure what's going to happen there.
This is a very, very powerful graph, and I'm going to walk through it slowly so you can see exactly what Mother Earth is telling us. And that is the value of looking at the information from the Earth herself. We're not seeing this interpreted through the eyes of a corporation or of a political or religious agenda. This is the Earth telling us her story. And the story is fascinating. In this particular graph, the year 0 to the right-hand side of the screen, that's us. That's where we are today. I'm going to go back to the 420,000 years from where the ice cores were in the previous graphs. And if you'll notice, you're looking at two colors, red and blue. The red are the temperatures of the Earth, the average temperatures, and the blue are the levels of greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide. And I'm showing this because we're being told that it is the carbon dioxide and the greenhouse gases that is causing the temperatures of the Earth to rise and causing the concern. The data in this graph doesn't support that theory. And I want you to see precisely how this works. So if you follow with me, if we're moving from that 400,000 years toward the present, so we're moving from the left to the right-hand side of the graph, what you see is that the red lines rise before the blue. That means the temperature is rising before the greenhouse gases. And this is what's recorded in the ice cores in Antarctica and in Greenland. The temperatures rise first, and then the greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide, follow. And there is a lag time. And it's not our imagination. This is from peer-reviewed science. This is peer-reviewed science that was published in the very prestigious journal Nature, volume 329 in the year 1987. Scientists knew this as far back as 1987. So I'm going to zero in on what it is that they said, and this is their language. They said, when we are going from what's called an interglacial condition, that's where we are right now. We're not in the glaciers, we're in between the time when the glaciers appear. So when we're going from interglacial into a glacial condition, into a time when the Earth cools, the change in the carbon dioxide actually lags.
All right, my friends, there you have it. So as you can see, it does appear that this is what's going to happen. Now, is it going to happen in the 2030s, or is that not a correct date for it and it'll happen in the 2040s? I'm not sure. Some people say these events are going to be 2030, 2040. I don't know. I'm just presenting you the internet information that I have found. But it's very interesting because we've seen a lot of predictive programming about this happening, about ice ages in movies. Take a look at a few of these movies. There you go. And there's more. There's a lot of movies that are programming us for some kind of ice age coming. All right. And hey, you know, Spock from Star Trek, Leonard Nimoy or whatever, here's a video of him back in the 70s telling us an ice age is coming. Take a look.
In the 1970s, we were warned of an ice age, global cooling.
If we are unprepared for the next advance, the result could be hunger and death on a scale unprecedented in all of history. What scientists are telling us now is that the threat of an ice age is not as remote as they once thought. During the lifetime of our grandchildren, Arctic cold and perpetual snow could turn most of the inhabitable portions of our planet into a polar desert.
There you have it. So could this be what the elites know is coming? This Nibiru event, of course, and this ice age that's coming. And of course, if Nibiru happens, this reset of the matrix, it comes along with earthquakes, volcanoes, all that kind of stuff. Well, what's going to happen if volcanoes pop off? Take a look at this.
The countdown of the clockwork mechanism of the magma bomb inside our planet has already started. Under the onslaught of a massive attack from the Earth's interior, the thinner oceanic crust is already giving up its position. The ocean has so far restrained this power, but eruptions are moving into the terrestrial phase. Tonga is vivid proof of this. It has the highest number of deep focus earthquakes, and the eruption of the Hunga Tonga Hapai volcano on 15 January 2022 alone affected 80% of the population of the surrounding region. If one volcano can do that, what can we expect from a massive eruption of terrestrial volcanoes? After all, already now, we observe their synchronization. The thicker continental crust is holding the line for now, but it won't last long. This threatens to bring on a volcanic winter and a new ice age. The magma's violent power has already awakened volcanoes that have been dormant for hundreds and thousands of years. Our planet is looking more and more like a minefield, where shells are beginning to detonate like a chain reaction.
There you go. So as you could see, if all these volcanoes pop off due to the resetting of the matrix and all that, of course that's going to bring an ice age. All right. Now this makes sense to me that this is what the elites know is coming. So possibly that's why, they want to start eliminating people, depopulating. Because if people find out, they're going to lose control. There's going to be chaos on Earth. And, they're going to go underground, of course, when this all happens. And once it's over, they're going to come back up to the surface. But they want to make sure they have their natural resources out for them. Everything's perfect for them to regain civilization. They don't want to clean up a bunch of bodies, stuff like that. So you got to start depopulating now. Because they know it's going to get chaotic, especially in the coming years. Already, we see crops declining. Every year, crops been going lower and lower because the weather is already changing to the point that there's droughts all over the world. Even here where I am, in Canada, Alberta, we're going through droughts right now. That's right. And they try and tell you, they give you the distractions and say, oh, it's because of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and all the conflicts around the world. That's why bread and rice and all this stuff is going down. That could just be an excuse. It's actually going down because there's droughts happening all over the world and they can't grow the food anymore. So they don't want people to know that because people are going to freak out if they know that's what's happening. So they blame the conflicts going on, right? How about this whole push about the meat? Oh, we got to stop eating meat for the weather, and we got to start eating bugs. Well, my friends, could it be that they know we're not going to be able to feed cows anymore, and that's why we got to move off meat because we're not even going to have food for us humans. How are we going to feed the cows, right? That could be a possibility, my friends. And it's easier to eat the bugs, right? So they might know that. So that's why they're trying to transition us. And in the process, eliminate us. Because think about it. If all this happens and it's like winter time, but all year round, and many places in the world won't be able to grow food anymore, mass starvation, my friends. That's right, it's going to be mass starvation, and that's going to cause chaos. People are going to go crazy as people start to starve. That's why it's so important that you guys start stocking up on food and water right now. Like big time. You got to have more than just 1 month supply. If this happens, oh my goodness. You know, you got to have seeds. You got to learn how to grow food, have a year's worth of supplies. Really look into it. Food buckets and all that. At the moment, I'm trying to find a good website I could partner with to get you guys the best deals for this food and buckets and whatnot. So stay tuned. Very soon, I'm going to be working with a company, and I'll get you information for that. But in the meantime, start looking for it on your own. You know, there's no time to waste here. And even then, that might eventually run out. And if this is truly happening, well, my goodness. And to make things worse, on top of it all, we got these powers that be making the situation worse. Oh, yeah. Did you guys know that the CO2 levels for the last major ice age, so this is when the big one is, when they said the dinosaurs or whatever, you know, long time ago, did you know that the CO2 levels, the carbon, right, it was less than 200 parts per million. That's how much carbon. You see, we actually, despite what they tell you, CO2, the carbon, which is what we are. We're a carbon-based being. So you're a carbon-based being. It's actually essential for life on this planet. And when it gets low like that, life can't live on Earth, and there's ice ages. Okay? So it was under 200 parts per million with the ice age. Well, what it's at right now is 421 parts per million. Which, you know, they don't want you to know this, but that's considered low as well. But they're telling you it's too much. And according to the powers that be, the 2030 agenda, the 2030 initiative, they want to reduce 421 parts per million by 40-50%. Which means we're going to be getting close to how it was the last ice age. Okay? And then I believe by 2050, they want it at net zero. Well, perfect for the reset, right? That's why I think this reset timeline, I think things are going to progressively get cooler and cooler and cooler. And I think by 2050, the whole reset's going to be over with. The Nibiru Event's going to happen, and then the new simulation's going to start. But net zero, you're included in that, my friends. You are carbon, right? So you're going to remove all the carbon. See, they tell you what they're going to do. They tell you. You got to remove all carbon, including humans. Net zero. But it's going to be creating the new simulation to transfer your consciousness into the new simulation, and then that's the nature of our reality. We're being harvested, and we've probably been through this many times. We're in a time loop, and the same story keeps playing out. You know, Genesis to Revelations, and it keeps happening. You may have gone through this 1,000,000 times. Or 1,000 times, 100 times. And you're going to keep going through this until you have that awakening. And you learn how to leave the matrix. So make sure you're subscribed so you could view more of my videos, or I tell you how to do that. But back to this topic. As I was telling you guys, so that's crazy that they want to remove all this CO2 when we know it's going to lead to this ice age event. And they even got machines now that are sucking the carbon out of the air. So if things weren't bad enough with the sun and possible volcanoes, they're also sucking it out of the air. Take a look.
There's this new technology called carbon removal or direct air capture. And it's different from carbon capture and sequestration. Whereas carbon capture and sequestration means you capture that carbon dioxide and coming out of a smokestack, and you store it underground or something like that. But you're only taking the carbon that is being produced by this fossil fuel. Direct air capture actually sucks carbon out of the atmosphere and actually leaves the atmosphere with less carbon than when you started. And so that's becoming this very promising and fast-growing industry, with some of the first plants in the world doing this recently opening, and they are selling carbon removal credits to people and institutions that want to offset their carbon emissions. But
There you go. Technology to suck the carbon out of the atmosphere. So there you go, my friends. We gotta get to net zero. Great matrix reset. We gotta do it, right? And the way they see it, if you go along with this, then you're consenting to it. A lot of people do. They all support this. Oh, we gotta net zero. So, hey, people want this. Not everyone does, but some people do. But a lot of people are waking up and seeing the insanity in it, you know. Times are going to get rough indeed, but what we need to do is we need to stick together and we need to try and help each other through this, you know. And yeah, if this cooling effect does happen with the cycles with the sun and whatnot, and the Nibiru event, which is out of our hands, well, many will probably not make it, but we could start preparing now. If everybody knew what was happening, we could start preparing. Heck, everybody could go underground. But of course, the powers that be do not want you to know any of this. They want to keep you ignorant. They want to keep you blind, and they want to depopulate you. So that's what's happening. That's why they're getting rid of us, because they're preparing the new simulation after this reset, and they'll be able to control us more, because they're losing control right now because there's no awakening going on. Okay? But it doesn't have to be that way, my friends. You can go on the positive timeline, raise your vibration through love, don't give in to the fear, activate the Kundalini energy, you know, but be careful if you do attempt to do that. Only do that if you're ready to do it, if you know what I mean. But what that does is it activates your dormant DNA, and it can put you on that positive timeline. And right now, the sun is very active, and of course the magnetosphere is dropping as it does at the end of every cycle, and this is allowing all these energies to come in and activate people. People all around the world are having these spontaneous awakenings, DNA activations, Kundalini, whatever you want to call it. And the people who are putting in the work, raising their vibration, detoxing their body of all the crap, and letting go of the fear and rising above in love, those are the people who are going to be raptured, as you could call it. And all that is they're going to be able to leave the simulation. When this simulation comes to an end and gets restarted, those who have gone on that positive timeline will get edited out of the matrix and be able to go beyond. But the people who did not put in that work will experience the death experience, and they will be recycled into the new simulation. So stay positive. Don't feed into the fear, because they're trying to scare you. They want to keep you stuck here. Observe all these things. Get prepared, because things will probably get worse before they get better. So make sure you have the food, the water, the survival gear, you know, and just get ready and prepare. And that's all you can do. Don't feed into fear. Trust that you're protected, and that and you know, end of the day, we create our own reality. We're powerful creator beings, my friends. We are part of that one God consciousness that exists, and we can create whatever we want. So they're trying to manifest a negative reality for us. Time to take back our sovereignty and create a beautiful new reality. And once you leave the simulation, you'll be able to manifest easier and create the world that you want to see. Okay? So that's how it works. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, like I said, please subscribe. And like I said, you know, I am on Patreon. Exclusive content that you don't get anywhere else, not here on YouTube. So if you guys want to check that out for even more videos, I'm doing up to 4 videos a week on there. Link is down below in the description. Got the Ascent 5D class, occult class, health class, and more. Also, I'm on the website Buy Me a Coffee. So if you enjoy my work and you'd like to just simply support the channel and buy me a coffee for my efforts, the link to that is down below as well. And I'll even send you a few exclusive Patreon videos as a thank you to your email if you choose to do that. Okay, my friends? Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of today's video. And yeah, I guess the next video you see from me on YouTube will be in Europe, because I'm heading back there. So until next week, when my next video is, I think it'll be on the April 8th solar eclipse. But until then, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you then. Lionel, signing off.